juggernaut!
One Facebook user said, "Best Wolverine ever." Another says, "Love this guy, more please Hasbro." Another says, "It's so awesome. Blew out other Wolverine action figure." Wait, what? Did I miss out something in my previous in the box review of this Wolverine action figure? This is part 1 of the X-Men 97 Wolverine action figure compared to other Wolverine action figures. Today we're just taking a look at Hasbro. I previously reviewed the figures in the box because Hasbro has provided limited supply of Rogue, Gambit, Storm, and Bishop for Australia. Be specific, Australian small businesses like me, not big retail stores like Amazon or Pop Culture. Here we have Wolverine out of the box. In terms of his height, he's 14 centimeters or 5.5 inch tall, which is okay with his 5 feet 3 inch tall in the comic books. First comparison is Wolverine from the Marvel's 80 Years 3-pack with Cyclops and Jean Grey. The first thing that you can notice here is the shoulder pads are still not attached to his shoulder, it's attached to his arm. And this creates a gap between the shoulder pad and the shoulder. I wish they did the same technique with the Retro Apocalypse, wherein the shoulder pads are actually attached to the upper torso or shoulder. It is different in terms of the shape as well. This time, this one is sharper. Also, in terms of the mask, things are a little bit larger, or like how we remember Wolverine in the comic books, wherein everything like the shoulder pads are larger. During the 90s, those were the artist style. Also here, there's no crack there, something like it's just a smooth design, like just straight sharp. Next up we have is this guy is pinless compared to the old guy from 2020 which has pins. Another noticeable difference is the claws. The claws, again, it really brings nostalgia to life because this claws, this old claws, is so flimsy and they won't stay in the right position. Like the gaps between the claws are not equal. Unlike this one, the claws are. It's still somewhat a soft type of plastic, but it stays in position, and you can see how well sculpted the claws, like it's coming out from the holes on his fist. Like that is one excellent looking claws from Hasbro compared to this old one. Next up we have is in terms of the torso, it's exactly the same torso painted differently. Next we have is his hero underwear. It's a bit different because now um, his upper thigh is painted to extend somewhat his underwear, similar to the old Toy Biz action figures. It's really good though because it does hide like the gaps. From the back you can see he still has the same butterfly joint. It's basically the same old body painted differently, and yeah, it's exactly the same. So so this is indeed a repaint with some minor improvements, or probably major, because this figure does hit nostalgia straight out. In terms of the arms, you can see that the hair is different. Here the hair is not that molded much, like it's just some straight lines. Here it's like he's very hairy, but the thing is, would you have like that kind of hair wherein it's like, I don't know, I mean, hair is supposed to be soft and thin. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that obvious, but they didn't even bother to like put a shade of color. In terms of the head sculpt, a new and improved head sculpt. Nothing compared to this other head sculpt, which I don't recall in the comic books. Probably he looks like this before, but this new one does resemble how he looks like in the comic books. The cowl is different as well. You can see on the new one, the holes for the eyes are painted white compared to the old one where it's all black. More brighter colors for the new one, of course, because it's animated series. And the flesh tone, which we will see later, is a big difference as well, because his flesh tone won't match with others. He comes with a pair of closed fist hands, unlike this other one, which actually came with some bone claw hands. So this one is excellent as well. And he comes with a battle damage mask as well. I like the expression of his face here, as it is um like berserk or angry, and you can see the damage on his mask. It really looks great. But the new one doesn't come with this. Trying to do a kit bash or swapping things out, here we have the new body mold with the bone claw hands. The color won't match because the bone claw hands has blue fists. Also, in terms of the mask, it won't match as well. Same is true if you want to give the new Wolverine, if you want to give the new fist hands for the old Wolverine body, it won't match. Maybe you can edit it in photos, but that's it. It won't match in terms of color. And Hasbro has always been doing that. So give us different shades of blue or color. Here, using the old body mold with the new head, and here using the new body mold with the berserk battle damage head. It works great. Swapping them over, it's excellent. You can use it. The yellows may not match that well, but it's common that in figures the shade won't match. It's not that bad. But of course, when it comes to the flesh tone, that matters because the flesh tone doesn't match. I guess one thing for sure we need to check out is whether he can do a Wolverine pose. Again, on his crotch, you won't see the connector to the legs. Unlike this old one, because the connector to the legs is yellow, it's very visible. The new one has a great job of hiding those things. Same is true here. Problem though for this one is the shoulder pads, they both go down, and it makes it difficult for you to do a jumping forward, thrusting forward with the shoulder pads twisting to the back. I just hope they actually fix that, but since this is still the old body mold, you will still have that problem. Trying to keep things in the proper place. Here we have him with the butterfly joints. Still, there would be a gap, as you can see there, like the flesh is showing, but you can adjust it accordingly. Same is true for the old one. Again, you can see the yellow showing near his underwear. That won't happen to the new one. In terms of the light blue color, the new Wolverine, the X-Men 97 Wolverine, does match how Joe Rosa's colored Wolverine from X-Men number 4. Starting X-Men number 4, that is a time that Wolverine has this tiger stripe costume, and those blues does match. Unlike this from the 3-pack, which is dark blue. You can see side by side with the photo, the blues, the light blue does match. So, this new Wolverine is indeed the 90s Wolverine that we remember. based on the color scheme. Next up we have is the return of Wolverine from the Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure Wave from 2022. This is a different costume, but essentially it is the same body mold. Difference as usual are the claws. We have the hot claws for the new one, and in terms of the pins are still on the hot claws one. It's exactly the same as well in terms of the arm, just the skin or the flesh tone is different in color. Here we have the screaming angry head for the hot claws one, and here we have the neutral and like just cool, or I'm not sure what to call it. You can swap it over and this works fine, but again the flesh tones won't match. It's expected that with this new Wolverine it's a bit fleshy orange type. Next we have is the Uncanny X-Force Wolverine from the Wendigo Build-A-Figure Wave from back in 2019. This is where the good claw started, wherein it's steady, it's firm, but now this new one outdates this claw. Again, this old one has pins, and the thing is here on the side you can see I prefer what they did with the X-Force Wolverine, wherein it's just lines for the hair on his arms, compared to the new one wherein it's bulky and somewhat. I'm not sure if that's realistic at all. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree in terms of that. There's no point of doing a head swap since the X-Force has a gray color. Next we have is the House of X Wolverine from the Tricentennial Build-A-Figure Wave 2021. Still using the X-Force body, here we have Wolverine in his House of X costume. Again, his claws are now outdated by this new one. But the nice thing about this particular design of his costume is the sculpted pieces. There's a lot of sculpted pieces in this X-Force Wolverine, though minus the shoulder pads. But here, yeah, I mean the gloves and the boots. These two body molds are exactly the same with different colors. This one though has a bearded head sculpt, which is when Wolverine became the Horseman of Apocalypse in Powers of X. Actually, this is what he looks like in the House of X. In terms of his mask, it's shorter. You would still prefer, of course, this sharp, like Batman-like, I'm not sure, Wolverine. I mean the sharp Wolverine mask. I mean the one that we remember from the 90s compared to this one. I'm not sure as well with in terms of the face sculpt whether I like the House of X one here. Next up, we have the recent training suit Wolverine from the Retro Wave 2023. This is the most recent Wolverine as I can recall. In terms of the upper thigh swivel, this one has it, while this one it's more noticeable for the new one compared to the training suit when it's hidden by the bands. In terms of the flesh tone, it won't be a problem when you swap over the head of the new one to this training suit body because it's all covered up, so it's not noticeable compared to like swapping the head of the training suit to the animated series one wherein the flesh tones won't match. These claws are really outdated. I don't understand why Hasbro has to use this given that they have better claws at this point. This one just really came out in a bad shape from the packaging, and it's not even like quality control wise, the claws are not in the proper position coming out from his fist. So in terms of the next head that this guy has, he has this grinning head. I mean, both unmasked, so you can use it. Which one do you prefer? I think the new one is more accurate to how he looks like in the comic books, but this one will be interesting whether if that's how he really looks like in the animated series. Here is the more relaxed head sculpt of the training suit. In terms of paint, not that much of a fan in terms of how they painted the lips of the training suit one compared to this new one. This one is better. So here's the head swap. Not noticeable because there is no flesh tone for this particular training suit costume, unlike this one wherein it's really obvious that this is not his head. But it would really be great if, I mean, the head sculpts could really match in terms of the color of flesh, but Hasbro won't do that. Of course, they want you to buy each figure that they release, so you'll just have to edit if you want to use this particular head sculpt for this new body mode. Here is the older Age of Apocalypse Weapon X. In terms of head sculpt, it is entirely different. This one has a big hair. The arms are different as well because this is still the old arms, but the hair here is all like it's just painted on hair, unlike this one, which is sculpted. Again, the flimsy claws, which I never liked. I hope this kind of claws came in earlier rather than Marvel Legends collectors suffering from this old flimsy claw. Doing the unmasked head comparison, you can see the older ones that Hasbro made are more like Wolverine is angry or shouting, but this new one is just so relaxed and so cool. In terms of swapping it over, this would work for fun. A big hair Wolverine in this animated series body. Again, the flesh tone won't match, but it's worth a try, isn't it? I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, doing all these head swaps, does it make sense? I mean, the colors, of course, the head sculpt won't match, and this one is very loose. When you plug it in to this body, it's so loose that it won't stay in place. Probably this one has a bigger hole. Here is the Weapon X from the Caliban Wave. This is one figure that I almost missed out because I wasn't sure if I wanted, but this is a really good figure. It reminds me of the Toy Biz one, which my brother have. Flesh tones again won't match. Claws is the usual terrible ones. But this is such a good figure. Unfortunately, it won't make sense to like do a head swap for this one. But of course, here is the other one though with the like savage one. It's like it really won't make sense. it's such a crazy head sculpt to use for the new body mode. But here we still give it a go. We check it out. And here is the angry like caveman type head sculpt on the new body mode. It can work, but this totally won't work. Big difference here in terms of flesh tone. Like his head is floating, but in terms of the one with the helmet, this actually looks cool. Putting this helmeted head on the tiger stripe costume. Unfortunately, the flesh tones won't match. Next, we have the very tall Hugh Jackman Wolverine action figure. It's interesting how Hugh Jackman is not, so tall compared to the character that he is playing, but this has one of the best looking claws back in the day. His claws were excellent, and yeah, here is the new one. I do wonder whether in the new Deadpool 3 movie, Hugh Jackman will have those type of design in terms of the claws. You know, those like where the holes are. Like it would be nice to have those kinds of detail. In terms of the neck peg, this is the neck peg that I was hoping this new Wolverine would have. Since it's a new Wolverine action figure, I just hope they went all the way in terms of giving the best. Here is Hugh Jackman wearing the tiger stripe costume, comic book accurate this time. It's really an interesting look. Would look nice in photography, and this is the unfortunate um, animated series head sculpt on a larger body or a taller body, as you can say. But in terms of range, that's a great range of movement for the neck. The double dumbbell type of neck does a really good job in terms of giving attitude to this figure. Here is the screaming one. I think I would love to display it like this way. Really bringing the figure to some kind of crazy level. For other Wolverines, of course, we have Laura, which is Wolverine as well. Next, we have the X-Force X-23 besides the X-Force Wolverine. My final thoughts, we had so many Wolverine action figure, that's why I never thought of picking up this one. Though, to my surprise, after going through this review, I was surprised that this is actually the 90s Wolverine that I remember seeing in the comic books, wherein the blues of his costume match how Joe Rosas colored him. It's just unfortunate that he didn't come with the nicer double dumbbell joint neck peg. The claws that he comes with though is excellent. Truly the highlight of this figure, making it a must get for collectors of Wolverine. In terms of the mask, it would be nice if it was color blue as well to match how he looked like in the 90s, but this is based on the animated series. Thank you for watching. I hope you leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, and ring the notification bell. Part 2